So let's talk about the next question, that is question number 6, and is asking to differentiate between racemose and cymose inflorescence. We have to differentiate between fibrous root and adventitious root, and also we have to differentiate between apocarpous and syncarpous ovary. So first, if we talk about the racemose and cymose inflorescence, before differentiating these two terms, we have to know that what is inflorescence. The arrangement of flowers, the arrangement of a flower is known as inflorescence. We have two basic types of inflorescence, that is racemose and cymose type of inflorescence. Now we have to differentiate between these two. If we talk about the racemose inflorescence, then the younger flowers, the younger and new flowers are arranged at the tip, whereas if we talk about the older flowers are situated at the base of this inflorescence. In racemose flowers or in racemose inflorescence, the new or younger flowers are present at the tip, whereas the older flowers are present at the base of this inflorescence. This kind of inflorescence is said to be racemose inflorescence. Then if we talk about the next type, that is cymose inflorescence, then in this type of inflorescence, the younger flowers are situated or present at the base of inflorescence, of this inflorescence, and the older flowers are present at the tips. Now, if we talk about the racemose flower or racemose inflorescence, the main axis continues to grow and produces lateral flowers in case of racemose inflorescence, whereas in cymose inflorescence, the main axis has limited growth and will eventually terminates into flower. Right, so this is the basic difference between racemose and cymose inflorescence. That in racemose inflorescence, the new flowers are situated at the tip, whereas the older flowers are present at the base. The cymose inflorescence, if we talk about, have younger flowers at the base and the old flowers at the tip. The main axis continues to grow in racemose, and the main axis has limited growth and terminates into flower in case of cymose inflorescence. Now, if we talk about the differentiate or differences between fibrous root and adventitious root, fibrous root and adventitious root, we have to differentiate between these two. If we talk about the fibrous root, then this kind of root is found in monocot plants. The primary root, in case we are talking about the fibrous root, in fibrous root, the primary root originated from the radicle of a seed is short-lived. First of all, the primary root which is originated from the radicle of a seed is short-lived and is replaced by various number of roots which are originated from the base of stem. So this is fibrous root and is found in some wheats and cereals. If you talk about the next one, that is adventitious root, these are the roots which are originated from any part of the plant rather than the radicle of a seed. Except for the radicle of a seed, when any root is arising from any part of the plant, the type of root is said to be adventitious roots, which are found in banyan, monstera, etc. Now, the last one we have to differentiate between is Apocarpous and syncarpous ovary. What is Apocarpous and syncarpous ovary? Whenever the carpel or pistil is present in a flower, it can be one in number, it can be 2 in number, it can be more than 2 in number. Whenever we are talking about Apocarpous and syncarpous, we always have to remember that we are talking about the flower which contains more than 2 ovary in a flower. Now, the basic difference between Apocarpous and syncarpous, as both are the flowers which are having more than 2 ovaries. But what is the basic difference between these two? In Apocarpous condition of a flower, the carpels which are present in a flower are not fused with each other. They are present separately in a flower, whereas in syncarpous condition of a flower, the ovaries are present more than two. The ovaries are present more than two. But what happens? The carpels are present more than two, but they are in fused condition. They are in fused condition. Whereas in Apocarpous they are separate. Whereas in Apocarpous they are separate from each other. In both the conditions, the carpels are present more than two in number, but Apocarpous condition or Apocarpous ovaries are when the carpels are present more than two in number but are not fused with each other. They are present separately. Example for this Apocarpous condition we have is lotus and rose. Lotus and rose. Whenever in a flower there are more than two carpels are present and these two carpels are fused with each other. Now they are not present separately, they are fused with each other, then this kind of flower or this kind of ovary is said to be syncarpous ovary. For this we have example tomato. So this is the differences between all these, and I have brought the written answer for all these for the students who find difficulties in writing the answer. So first we have differences between racemose inflorescence and cymose inflorescence. Now see, the younger flowers are present at the tip, whereas the older flowers are arranged at the base of this inflorescence. Also, this kind of arrangement of flower is known as acropetal succession. Whereas the cymose inflorescence is said to be basipetal succession. So in cymose inflorescence, younger flowers are present at the base of this inflorescence, and the younger flowers are present at the base, and whereas the older flowers are present at the tip. And this kind of arrangement is said to be basipetal succession. In racemose inflorescence, the main axis continues to grow and produces flowers laterally, whereas the main axis in cymose inflorescence has limited growth and terminates into flower. So these are the basic differences between racemose and cymose inflorescence. Let's see the next, that is the difference between fibrous root and adventitious root. This kind of root is found in monocot plants such as wheat and cereals. Now, in this, the primary root which develops from the radicle of a seed is short-lived and replaced by number of roots which are arise from the base of a stem. Now, if we talk about the adventitious root, these roots are arising from any other part of a plant for accepting the radicle of a seed. And these kind of roots are found in banyan tree, monstera and some other plants. Right? So these are the differences between the fibrous and adventitious roots. The last one we have is the differences between apocarpous and syncarpous ovary. In this we have more than one carpel present in a flower, and all these carpels are free. Are not fused with each other, they are present separately, right? It is found in lotus and rose flowers. And if we talk about the syncarpous ovary, the carpel is present more than one, of course, and these carpels are fused with each other. The syncarpous condition of ovary is found in tomato, mustard, etc. So this is the complete solution of question number 6.